Hey everyone! Welcome back to SpeedGaming 2. We are in it for another Metroid Planet's Enigma race between Alex and Eppy37. Game 3 of this match. I'm Crows and I'm here with Flurry for comms.
How you doing?
Doing well. On tracking as always, we got Paragon. And we're off to a start in Slatestone.
Yeah, so I believe the settings for this particular race, we have the hub world's criteria Bryn and Warfare same as game 2. The difference is instead of presentiment in Torian, we are looking at Bubble Deep. Torian, as it pertains to how you strategize and how you're going to go across the maps, you really want to know what key items the zones are going to ask for. And I think you've seen Bubble Deep definitely requires a few big ones, right?
Yes, it does. And a lot of missiles, too.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Zebatites are definitely out in full force there.
Yes, they are, because MST, who created that custom area, always loves that saying, always be collecting missiles, your ABCMs of Metroid planets.
There you go. And how do you feel about Slatestone start?
I think it's a solid start. It's not bad. You're going to get... it's what's replacing Norfair, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yes, yeah. So, no bosses in this area, but it's going to be a pretty leisurely stroll through here on your way to get the first items that you may find, which our runners have already found their first E-Tank.
Yeah, first E-Tank, first missile, really important to be able to open up a good deal of exploration, especially in a Slatestone where there's a lot of different gating hub areas where some spots will be bomb locked, some will be spacers, some will be waved. It really gives a pretty interesting map as a result. And we find the first elevator leading to Turnova, which is replacing Brinstar.
Yep.
Eppy's looks like is going to make the dive. How do you feel about diving the first elevator you see, or trying to find a major in Slatestone first?
I think because it's Terranova, I think it's good just to see if there's any items just instantly right here that could give you a little bit of an idea of where to go. Especially like you said, Slatestone can have a lot of progression locks. And generally, when you're in a new area, you're possibly gonna find a new item just right there at the doorstep.
Chance for a little bit of a divergence there with the immediate adjoining room to the elevator having a potential major, but it was just another missile pack.
Yep. Alex has taken the same dip into Terranova. And Eppy doing a map scan. I'm not sure, did he get anything from that, or was that a no-go?
He's filling out his Norfair. He's going to check the rooms to see if he identifies something that's either a potential major, but more or less, like, one thing I've noticed from a lot of the runners that have been around a while is that they won't necessarily scan areas that they're about to go into. So, like, You don't necessarily want to do a Brinstar scan unless you really want to find an elevator. And we know that the Norfair is going to have at least an elevator to Ridley. It's going to have an elevator to Criteria, which is replacing the PSL station. And it might have a Torian elevator as well. Finding out where those elevators are and what the potential blockers are for the map station, really a big deal.
Yep, that's correct. And for those that don't know, Metroid Planets, our runners are looking for progression items to get them to the 3 bosses in order to defeat Mother Brain. Because once they defeat those 3 bosses, Kraid, Spore Spawn, and Ridley, they'll be able to open up that lovely golden door.
Yep, yeah, if you're new to planets, you see the different colors on the doors. Blue is standard, can just open with anything. Red is missiles. If you see a purple door, that's a boss door. It requires 10 missiles to open. And in Torian, that yellow door is only openable when we take out the 3 bosses. Now, there still can be majors in Torian. That is entirely possible. And looks like Eppy finds another elevator.
Into Kraid. Well, Eppy's deciding that this area is a little bit crater than the last, and going forward into here.
Well, his spirits have been dashed by the good old ruined slab complex.
Yep. Oh, we love to see that ruined slab, or don't love to see it, considering how much it has showed up in this seed. Or in the tournament. Yes.
Well, as much as I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that particular room, one nice thing about finding that room here is that it has a lot of entrances and a lot of exits. And since they can't all have majors, they all have to go somewhere. It tends to lead to a lot of item rooms. And considering we're only at 1 E-Tank and 5 missiles, stocking up the missile count and the E-Tank supply early is a pretty good idea.
Yep.
But
Alex just picked up those boots, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. It's kind of creepy going into your 3rd zone without having to pick up a single major here. So Alex is gonna dedicate time, it looks like, to finding majors here. What's the one major you want to see early?
I would say I want to see some morph early. Or at least, some space jump. Allows me to navigate, get through things early. That's me personally. How about you?
For me, it's probably long beam, to be perfectly honest.
Really?
Because early in the game is usually the one time of the game where you're actually have concerns about running out of health to enemies. Because usually you find either Varia, or you find enough E-Tanks, and you're just like, all right, I'm good to go.
Yep.
And just the default length on the beam means it's really difficult. Like, you look at Alex taking just the hit to the bug there, or if you have long beam, you can just fire beams the entire way, and it just makes it a lot more safe.
Very true, yeah. Now, Alex is also down in Kraid right now, going through the Rune Slab Complex.
Oh, do you mind explaining you noticed how Eppy is marking some of the things on his map?
Yes, currently Metroid Plan's Enigma has a map reminder function in order for you to go and place down reminders there when you possibly come across a lock or whatnot. So it's a good way to keep track of where you've been and what you've seen. Some runners tend to, ignore it, but it's always helpful just in case you forget.
Now, I might have missed it, but they're saying in the chat, it looks like we have a world connector. It's pretty rare to find, but it can happen sometimes where you can go from one world to another just via a doorway. Especially in a slabs complex, to be perfectly honest. The map is so big that that's kind of why I think the generator tends to favor some of those bigger maps. We'll definitely see more of them. Speaking
about seeing things, Eppy saw a core capacitor and a core. Oh, and Alex finds bombs.
Yeah, that's a great find, but it does kind of make you wonder about Morphball, right?
Yeah, because you can't use those without the morph. So one has to wonder that if it's in Norfair or, well, Slatestone or yeah, one of those areas that we passed. Slatestone will have more bold predictions from Skyhawk.
That's another spooky thing about going into a boss early is that, especially Kraid, can be kind of tough, but we got a pretty easy Kraid room, so...
Kraid in the dunk tank, the good old lava dunk tank. Bowser would be pleased.
You really appreciate those rooms when you get some of them in your boss fights.
Very true.
Well, we may get Ridley Watchtower again. That's commonly the one that you're like, oh no.
Don't you love seeing that?
Alright, so let's see if Eppy's going to keep going. Had to take a reset. Eppy's going to leave. Now, has to come back, because we do have to take out Kraid. So, the bombs aren't necessarily off the table, and we do kind of want more balls, so...
Very true.
We're going to explore Crayteria. And last time Eppy was here, only had 5 missiles, so fighting Spore Spawn, even if Eppy had found it, would have been kind of a slog.
Meanwhile, Alex is going through and clearing out this area as much as possible so it doesn't have to return.
Yeah,
now,
oh, go ahead.
Do you think we're going to see another major here in Kraid?
That's a good question, and it's one of kind of like the main decisions you have to make when running planets. I think the common idea is 2 majors per world. Now it certainly can be more and it certainly can be less.
True, true.
I think it would be a little spooky to leave any area with less than 2 majors.
Agreed, 100%. And Eppy's picking up them boots from Air Samuses, as I like to call them.
Yeah, it's always nice to have.
Yeah. Sometimes you just wing it.
Bombs and space jump do kind of make high jump a little less valuable than you might see in other games, but still, we did have a high jump check in for a door in Slate Stone, so
yes, yep. And keep in mind, we still don't have more. Oh, and we're seeing a beam right there. What beam was that?
But it's morph locked though, and that's kind of the spooky thing when you see bombs before you have morph ball, and you're like, does this expect me to have morph ball going in here? Yeah,
Yep.
It does. So.
So now we know that it's very possible you're gonna have to return to Kraid at this point without that Le Ball, as I completely murder the French.
Now the good news for Alex is that if Alex wants to commit to the one trip to Kraid, missing out on Ice Beam isn't the worst thing in the world here. Bubble Deep does not have many, if any, Metroids. And that's primarily what you would see for the ice blocker would be like some kind of a Metroid combat room. Yeah, you can have to ice to go up, use ice and jump on enemies, but if we find space jump, or even really with bombs and high jump, the runners are of the caliber here where they can mostly ignore that. So it's okay for Alex. If that was like spring or wave.
True. That'd be missable at this point.
Yeah.
Alright, Eppy's making way back through Slate Stone, it looks like. Surprised Eppy didn't continue. Is that Kraid or? Yeah, that is Slate Stone, so did not go back into Kraid.
Yeah, I think Eppy is Eppy didn't see the bomb, so
No, that's true.
just from what we've seen, it feels like there's a possible consideration that Morphball was all the way back in Slate Stone, but it was also the case of Eppy is now exploring that connector from Slate Stone to Kraid.
Yep. At least that connector is going to make life a little bit easier because elevators, or lelelators, as was dubbed earlier, take a little bit more time to traverse. Oh, and Eppy's going to find them bombs, but it's not going to help without that morph ball.
Yeah, I think now that Eppy's back in Kraid, is really hoping to be able to has found bombs, hoping not to miss out on something else that's pretty important, but would like to get Kraid done in this shot right here.
Which I think that's a very fair thing to take care of right now, considering it's right here in front of you. Why not?
Little light on resources though, didn't have the missiles to open the door, and only sitting at 63 health, but we know what this Kraid fight is. You don't need any resources.
But Eppy doesn't, so gonna try to wing it, seems here, but he's gonna be very relieved upon seeing what it is. Yep. Kraid goes for his second bath of the day.
I always find it funny, and I certainly do it too, when, even if it's a room you think you know, just shooting missiles at the random wall because this game gives you trust issues.
What? Trust issues? Nah, it's all good. Alex making way through Terranova right now. Oh, and finds the screw attack.
So that's major number 2. Screw attack doesn't necessarily open up anything. I can only think of 1 or 2 rooms that actually require screw attack for you to get an item in there.
Yeah.
But it is convenient to find as a safety early. especially with areas that love to just throw a bunch of random flies enemies and things like that. So
Very true, very true. Alright, now we're looking for any other progression at this point, because so far, them ball seems to be locking.
yeah, I think finding the second major is going to make Alex head back. Yeah, sure enough, we're going to head back into
Yep.
Norfair / Slatestone and see what we can find here.
I mean, better sooner than Slater.
Well, we'll see if these expectations morph according to what elevators we find. One big thing that kind of goes into almost every run is that Crateria and its sub-area wreck ship, they don't have any bosses in there.
No.
So if you're going to dedicate time into there, you kind of need it to pay off in the form of some major. And hey, there's one.
Oh! What do you know? It was in Slatestone this entire time.
Yeah, I didn't notice if it was behind the high jump door or not. I think it was.
That would answer a few questions. But now that the ball is unlocked, we could keep rolling in the seed.
So it looks like the logic wanted you to go from Crateria back to Norfair and then back to Kraid.
Oof.
Don't follow the logic.
No. But having the
Generally a bad
Slatestone... Yeah, having the Slatestone connector will hopefully get Alex to just jump and go grab those bombs, because we're gonna need them probably sooner than later.
Oh, Alex got the bombs. It was the ice beam.
Oh, it was out. Yeah, it was Ice Beam. Wow, yeah. That's true, so able to use those bombs right off the bat. Meanwhile, Alex picking up some E-tanks.
Yeah, this right item stack room got me into practice. The invisible go-throughs. Once you've played it enough, you start to know the tile tell. But the first couple times,
Yeah.
that and the item Vader will get someone at some point in time.
Gotta love those item Vaders. Alright, both of our runners going through them Slatestone, and Eppy's gonna be picking up that ball.
Oh, okay. Well, this would be an ice check.
Yes.
We can bomb jump up here, but seeing that Ripper there, this is definitely a logical ice check.
But using that screw attack to get that Ripper out of the way, should be able to make an easy bomb jump up there.
And this might be a case where just the order of operations is kind of messing a little bit with Alex, who got bombs first.
Yeah.
So I think he just forgot that he has bombs.
I mean, I sure did. Yep, and MST would be correct, I think. Sometimes
Speaking of item invaders.
Yes, yep. Right there. Alright, we're gonna take a peek at where this goes. Oh, Crateria, aka BSL station for the seed.
Yeah, this is not the elevator you wanted to see.
No.
Because again, we don't know how far we have to dive into this. Ridley would be the one we'd like to find. If that Ridley is behind that IBJ, that's gonna be tough.
rough.
Eppy is gonna go ahead and make the call to go back and get Ice Beam.
Yep. And that's a solid call. Get first beam.
Yeah, this is a case of the connector really paying off, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't want to go all the way back through Crateria and then back into Kraid, so...
Best to just get it all done as soon as you can here, and then skedaddle, so you don't have to touch Kraid anymore. I mean, who wants to touch Kraid for too long? Am I right?
I mean, he's spiky. I don't want to. But yeah, Alex is not going to commit too much time to Crateria just yet. Knows that there is a Ridley Vader somewhere.
Oh, and Alex is going to head back into Terranova. Okay. Early Alex just needs to do that IBJ.
Yeah, this will put him in a tough spot. 3 majors in area isn't super rare. It can totally happen, but it is definitely not the probability play.
And Eppy's going to collect the Diet Varia, aka Crystal Core over there. It's going to help considering we have not seen Varia yet.
Yeah, I guess that's a good segue to talk about the cores. They're the boxes you see on the tracker just left of the bosses. They can never be logical progression, but they do offer equipable power-ups to Samus. Crystal Core, one of the most, if not the most useful one, as when you run out of health, it will take health from your ammo count, so you will start to lose some ammo. As you talked about it being a Diet Varia, so if you're in a heated room, you run out of health, you'll just start to see your missile count start to go down. So it buys you a little bit of extra time. It's really nice.
Yep. And Alex picked up a Phantom Core, which allows you to disguise yourself on the way to Spore Spawn. That's right, Spore Spawn is in Metroid Planet's Enigma. And it's one of our 3 bosses you need to defeat to beat Mother Brain.
Yeah, like a lot of bosses, how difficult this is, although difficulty might not be the proper scale as opposed to time consumed, but it's entirely dependent on the whims of the person who made the map. Spore Spawn does have a bomb weak point that Alex would be well served to try to press here, but without Spring Ball, it can be kind of tough to do.
And you'd have to remember, you have bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, knowing that you have the bombs in the first place is certainly a prerequisite, but it's tricky when you don't have Spring.
Oh.
Okay, we see bombs there. There we go.
Yes. It's nice, though, that Alex also has that screw attack, so that's going to help make short work of Spore Spawn over here. Just like then, what's Spore Spawn? Oh, just missiles. I gotta love the game. Yeah. What's behind Spore Spawn?
Lately, it seems the answer seemed to be the crate elevator, but that might just be the maw for me.
It's very true. All right,
but this makes the trip back into Brinstar a little more sensible for Alex. Wants to get Spore Spawn down. Now, ideally, would like to just never go back there again.
Oh, hey, it's Best Beam over on Eppy's side, Spazer!
Yeah, Spazer in this game is really neat.
It is.
This gives you a whole lot more damage. The highly mobile enemies that sometimes can be tricky to hit with your base beam. Don't have to worry about that. You can hit blocks that are at Samus's feet level with the proper distancing. And most importantly, if we see those, how would you describe them as? Bolt?
Yeah, like screw bolt blocks that kind of stretch that you could hit. Those are Spazer checks that you could go and take care of.
What's better than one item vader? 2! Found another item vader, and here's Ridley.
Here's Ridley! Alright. Get this item down here, and Eppy's gonna pick up a Magnet Core.
Yeah, Magnet Core's great, but kind of needs Long Beam to really hit its stride. And with Screw Attack, not as important. But you notice on Alex's side, Ridley is heated. Uh-oh.
And with no Crystal Core, because Alex passed that up, and no Varia yet. Oof, we are definitely out of logic here. We'll see how far Alex can make it through. There's just a little stint, or it looks like all of Ridley's going to be heated.
Yeah, Bubble Twist had a major in one of the earlier races, so I wouldn't be surprised if it has another one. But
can Alex get through it? Yeah. Oh, but Eppy finds a Spring Ball.
Yeah, Eppy committing to a little more exploration criteria ends up being a good call, especially with the item requirement that Bubble Deep tends to throw on runners.
Oh.
And Spring Ball is one of the things you really want to find.
And Alex bites it just going into a nice double item room, it looked like. And there's our Sensor Core. Sensor Core allows our runners to see hidden blocks and breakable things. So it's good to scan stuff, but Eppy probably not going to turn that on.
Nah, not while Crystal Core is still valuable.
Yep. And as we know, that Ridley is heated. That's going to come in handy. Oh, and there's Bubble Deep.
Okay, this is good information to have. The Taurine elevator can be in any of the 3 hub zones, so finding it right away is nice. Knows that, oh, they has Spring Ball, but...
Yep, that's a spring check. Which means Alex is going to have to go back and get that spring at some point.
Yeah, fortunately, it looks like it's on the way or very close to the entrance.
Yep.
What'll be interesting here is where Varia ends up being. And hey,
That's
there's a
true.
spacewalk.
Yeah. Speak of the devil. Also, it's important to note that this is game 3 of this set, so the winner of this continues and the loser goes home.
Oh, I hate when that happens when you go to morph when you're on an elevator and you end up going down.
That's a lullivator, if you know what I mean. Alright, Alex is finally picking up that ice beam.
Yeah, Alex is going to go ahead and bet on Kraid here. Again, 3 majors, not super rare, but this is definitely not the probability play.
No, but at least that connector is right there to jump up the slate stone, so that gives some navigation help over there.
Yeah, E-Tanks are definitely at a premium now, given that Alex is looking at a perspective heated run. Would really like to get that E-Tank, but also from just like a rando brain perspective, if you're worried about being behind or you just feel like in a straight line foot race you're not necessarily going to beat somebody, sometimes the thought process is you have to make a play that your opponent is not going to make. And that looks on the face as something that's just not going to be very probable, like a 3 or 4 major area.
Yep. And
yeah,
Eppy got some news about a wave lock. So, looks like wave lock is going to be needed in Bubble Deep.
Yeah, that's a big find. While you're already in Criteria, this is naturally a good spot to find. I think we've only found the 1 major.
Yep.
And gives good reason to go into Wreck Ship when we find it.
Yep, very true. Now, Alex still hasn't went and picked up that crystal core. Even though Alex definitely has seen the crystal core.
Oh, I think he got it on the 2nd trip.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
In fact, now that we think about it, that might be the reason for Alex going all the way back into Kraid.
True. Okay, he did pick it up. Yes. Thank you, FST. That makes a lot of sense. Especially knowing that there's a heated area and you don't know where Varia is at this point. There's a little bit more E-Tank to help on this run.
Yeah, very fortunate E-Tank there.
Yep.
And another one.
Oh, that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, 5 and 6 with Crystal Core, you would need something pretty rude in order for you to not necessarily be able to make it.
Agreed.
You might have to do a bunch of resetting, but we're definitely at the point now where I think this is doable for Alex.
Yep.
I see Eppy back in Norfair.
Yeah.
Was there a blocker?
I don't know. I was actually paying attention to Alex's side, but there might have been? Well, no, we know that there was a wave check. That is why Eppy left Bubble Deep. So it could be going just the other direction to Ridley at this point.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a blocker in that was preventing him from advancing in Criteria.
Ah. I don't think so.
So this will end up being, if there's a return trip back involved, this is okay for Alex.
Yes.
Had Eppy found like Varia and Wave Beam, we'd be in big trouble. And hey, there's Long Beam.
Ooh. Not gonna do too much right now. I don't think we've seen any long beam checks. But it's always good to have.
Contemplating a reset. May end up having to do it anyway. I was hoping to probably get a little more health from all those bugs.
Yep. Alright, Alex is on the treadmill, trying to get out of here before that life expires. Oh, made it just in time into a non-hazard area. It's gonna help regain some health over here. Oh, and some missiles and core dynamo hidden behind wave beam.
Yeah, we're not worried too much about core dynamo. It does have its niche uses, but yeah,
Yep.
this non-heated room, very nice for Alex. And hey, here's one of the rooms that Screw Attack can be kind of quote-unquote progression.
But it's just missiles. Alright, so we're currently looking for a wave beam. That's the one thing at this point that's really going to get our runners going.
Yeah, normally you will see, like, what do you feel is a healthy, even for a Bubble Deep, what would you feel would be a safe or healthy missile count?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would go with, 110 at this point, because I don't trust MST. Just to
Fair.
have it, just in case, Mother Brain ends up being a little bit problematic, especially going at it without any Varia suit. You don't want to be caught with your suit down over there.
Oh, and speaking of the Watchtower...
There must be some kind of way out of here, said the Samus to the Ridley.
Alright, that's a little bit more of a deep cut, I like it.
Thank you.
Now, Ice Beam can be a little bit of a hindrance, but Alex knows his stuff. Because if you shoot Ice Beam at Ridley and the fireball gets into one of the small crevices where you gotta put your missiles, well, now you can't hit him. So
Yep.
there is a maximum count of fireballs that can be on the screen, so what I've seen a couple runners do is freeze like 5 or 6 fireballs on the ground and then focus on missiles. But usually missile count is more of an issue. At 55 of 100, I think we're fine.
Yeah, we're more than good at this point. But Alex has still not seen that Bubble Deep elevator, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've explored enough of Slate Stone, or at least enough of Crateria, that we're probably not going to go back there.
Yep. No! Alex finds his answer. Meanwhile, Eppy is gained through, and health also draining. Good thing that Crystal Core is there to save while getting that long beam.
Now, the downside for Alex using the missile count, as opposed to freezing the fireballs and then maybe using the ice beam, is that now Alex's missile count and health count is pretty low in an area that we know has plenty of heated areas. So.
Oh, but Eppy finds the way beam.
Was that the room that Alex took the first death in?
I think so.
That is tragic if that's the case.
Oh. Will Alex remember to go back there? We'll see. But right now, it looks like Eppy has gained a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, and Eppy's map knowledge now and knowing about the wave check in Bubble Deep is going to be doubly important.
Yep.
And I think Eppy's goal right now is just find Ridley and get over to Brain.
But you can't blame him at this point. Oh, but here's Alex did get wave beam.
Okay, let's see if Alex makes the push here.
Which Alex does not know the information about wave beam is needed in Bubble Deep yet.
Alright, so now the question becomes, where is Alex going to commit to exploration as far as the Torian elevator? If Alex heads to Criteria, Spring Ball is very close to the elevator.
Yep.
So is in a good spot. If Alex decides to fill out the rest of Slate Stone, Eppy's knowledge will, I think, end up giving him the lead here.
Agreed. And after I think Eppy kills Ridley here, he's just gonna bolt for Bubble Deep at this point. Oh no!
Although,
Eppy,
yeah, that's a good point. Eppy does still have to go back and kill Spore Spawn.
that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So yeah, that does give Alex a little bit of a buffer.
I do not think Eppy has seen Spo yet. But that knowledge so far might pay off. Oh, Alex is heading down into PSL.
Alright, so good news for Alex. Hopefully, I believe this is literally the room that had, or not this room, it was a room that looked like this.
Yeah.
The big hang up here, I think, would be if Alex finds the Torian elevator before Spring Ball.
Mm-hmm. But I think it was on the way.
Yeah, if it wasn't on the way, then it was very, very close.
Yeah. So once Alex snags that spring ball and sees that elevator, gain some scans in. That should help a little bit for navigation.
Yeah, finds the elevator, had a piece of the other area on the left side, so that was a little bit of a clue here.
Yep.
Good use of the scan.
MSD
might
is
have been right
saying,
here.
just ping it Y. Yep, there it is. Spring ball in the hidden crevasse. Not far away from that elevator at all.
Yeah, I think the question now is going to be, are we going to be able to progress? Do we have enough health to deal with needed areas?
Well, since Alex has that crystal core, picking up that sensor core, okay.
Yeah, not equipping that
No.
at the cost of crystal core.
No. Crystal core is way too valuable at this point.
Oh, was there a spacer check? If there, that's right. There was the room with you had to push the bolt blocks up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it will be. Alex has yet to find Spazer. Alright, this is Alex's first look into Bubble Deep right now.
Now, Spacer was in Criteria, is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
So Alex would have to go back and check out Criteria.
So yeah, this is going to be really close. I like Eppy's positioning here on this particular Ridley fight, standing on the far edge to let all the fireballs just go beyond.
It was the room after the map station has Spacer. So walked right past it.
Oh, man. Alex, that's going to feel terrible when Alex finds that out.
Yeah. Alex is also going to get a glimpse of how tough Bubble Deep is right now with the missile count and how heated. Because Varia is still nowhere to be found.
Yeah, fortunately, once you get his appetite down, it stays down.
Yep.
So the return trip won't be quite so bad. Same for Eppy when he goes through it.
And yeah, Alex should feel bad for skipping 2 E-tanks knowing Bubble Deep is here and considering it's most likely heated.
Yeah, I think one of them was a maze room. They just didn't know. And, you know, when you're in a race, you probably are constantly thinking, gotta go fast, gotta go fast.
Right? Gotta get that Sanic in. But now Eppy has killed Ridley. and is making a beeline probably for that Bubble Deep.
Yeah, has to go back and get Spore Spawn.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Spore Spawn is still a thing. Yes.
Alex has a little bit of time, but Eppy's path is clear as long as this is traversable without Varia.
Yep. Every moment that we see Alex take to find anything, Eppy's gonna get closer and closer to that victory.
Okay, so maybe the Spazer check was just in an offshoot room because Alex is in the Mother Brain room?
Oh,
Did I see that right?
was that? I looked away for a second, so that is a good question.
I thought I heard the Mother Brain sounds and I recognized that that
Yeah.
room from a race last night. I think a race that you commentated last night.
Probably, yes. It's okay, folks. I'm without sleep at this point.
I think we're all missing that hour, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Daylight savings time is now turned into day fight savings time. Especially between these two runners. Alright, Eppy's in the Spore Spawn room. Gonna use that Spring Ball to do some bombing of the Spore Spawn. It's gonna help take it down just a little bit faster.
Yeah, Spring Ball and Bombs makes that much better. Sometimes you have to manage the iframes, but when you have Spring Ball, it generally doesn't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Alex's side, good news for Alex, we don't have to go through the Zebatites, so the missile count will be better. The bad news is Mother Brain is still 40 missiles.
Yes,
So
yes
while
it is.
115 sounds like a lot with Crystal Core, we got to spend 40 of those just on the boss.
The nice thing is that the escape after Mother Brain is not heated, so
Correct.
as long as you get through Mother Brain, you're good to go.
Now,
Right
the
now
one
we're...
major,
Oh, go ahead.
what's the one major we don't have is Space Jump. The one other major, and I think it was a race last night where there were Bubble Deep space heavily encouraged rooms.
That's true, there was. We'll see if Alex goes from hot to go to good to go soon here. I would apologize for that reference, but no. I'm not putting the calm back in commentary tonight.
Wrinkles will help.
Yes. Extend life just a little bit.
Yeah, it may not be on this attempt. Let's see if Alex can do it.
But at least getting rid of these appetites is going to help a good chunk. Alright. At around 50. Oof. I don't think it's going to make it this time. Yep.
Alright, and Eppy is now going directly into Torian. We are almost at a dead heat here.
Yes, we are. Eppy still doesn't have Varia either, so... But gonna have a little bit more health to work with. But a little bit less missiles.
Yeah, chat mentioning, good point, if, as opposed to what you might see in other, I guess there really isn't in other planets, but Escape can be progression blocked. So there can be a Spazer block in Escape.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, Eppy's in a fantastic position.
Yeah. Or what is worse, if, you know, a space jump check shows up.
Space jump, I think, would be... I don't think it would necessarily favor one or the other. It might almost be better for Alex. Just because when Alex goes to explore, would end up picking up that the spacer check as well, if it ends up being like both. But Eppy has also done more of Crater exploration by virtue of picking up the spacer, so...
Yeah, yeah. And they both have bombs, so that will help them IBJ up those space jump checks. If they could survive.
Yeah, if we had one of those space checks with a heated room, we'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, yeah. And we saw earlier today just how annoying some of these space jump checks could be if you IBJ them. Yeah, we'll see if Alex has enough to get through Mother Brain at this point. 100 missiles.
Should be okay, but you don't want to be missing.
No. Yep. Alright. Alex is in the escape. Now we wait with bated breath to see if there's a spacer check.
Yeah, and Alex is still in danger here. Like, they may not be heated, but we're only at 1 health with 44 missiles, our missile count as our de facto health right now. I would definitely like to see taking out some of these enemies with your screw attack to just build up that cash a little bit.
Agreed, agreed. This is a close race, though, with Eppy making way through the Mother Brain room.
Oh, so Eppy got that Tuskegee took a little too much from Eppy, and is gonna have to go and reset that. Conversely, Alex found that room with a whole bunch of those the balls in there and got a fair amount of missiles.
Alex right now is hoping to hear that music change, signifying almost to the escape.
You don't want to see Zepatites.
No, not at this point. Eppy's heading back through to head to Mother Brain. Oh, and there's that music change.
Yeah, we got it. Oh.
No,
it wasn't this one. But.
No. It looked like it for a second. It's going to need to use a little bit of bomb jumping creatively to get through this.
Man, I just love the aesthetic of the ball.
Right?
Here we go. This is the elevator room.
Yes, it is. And with that, Alex escapes the planet.
Yeah, GG's for Alex.
GG.
I don't have the race time room up. It looks like it's around 47:30.
Yep.
And Alex will move on to round 2.
And Alex has not stopped the race timer yet. In the race room.
It froze on me. The button is grayed out.
Oh no.
Did I win?
Yes.
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 Okay, yeah, the buttons are grayed out for me. It didn't stop.
Oh no. Well, welcome in. GG's on your game 3 win.
Thank you. Oh man, I got so nervous. I'm like, why is this thing still grayed out on me?
MSD is saying you should refresh the page.
Yeah.
And then hit done.
Yep, stop talking to hit done. You won't win if you don't. There we go.
There it is.
Okay, that's not my time, but okay. Stupid thing froze. I don't know. I've never seen that happen before. And of all times to do that.
Right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really intense map, huh?
Yeah. Especially with Eppy right there in the Mother Brain fight.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was close.
Oh, it was very close for the most part here. So, we had a world connector here.
Yeah, but that did prove handy when I needed to go back for Crystal.
Yeah. That crystal definitely helped you get through Ridley and Bubble Deep a little bit. Just a tad. Did we get a look at where the Varia is yet?
Looks like it was in Rex ship.
Ah. Oh, so it's possible that the poop contained the Varia suits. Possible, depending on where that Varia is.
So yeah, I guess the main differentiating factor between the two of you was Eppy did pick up Spazer. It was the room apparently right next to the criteria map scanner.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Actually,
yeah,
it wasn't needed.
yeah, you definitely had a more direct path, but came in with less E-tanks into the Bubble Deep. So yeah, how was going through that particular area a few times, dealing with the stress of the heated room?
Yeah, I was anticipating it. I mean, I knew I was going to at least respawn once or twice, so it was kind of expected.
Yeah, that's fair, especially taking out all those appetites without Varia at this point. Yeah, we were worried that it might be possible that you would have to do some bomb jumping, because Bubble Deep has quite a few bomb space jump check rooms.
Oh yeah, like the race earlier. That was
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
it was sure something.
Oh god, it was. Were you scared not seeing space jump at all?
I was more concerned about Spring Ball, which was needed here, so I'm glad I found it.
Yes, yes, it was. Eppy had space jump or spring ball way earlier than you.
Oh, so he did go to Rex ship. Okay.
Yes. Oh no. Oh, it's no
What's
spring
the
ball.
criteria?
Yeah, spring ball was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Alright.
space jump was also in Rex ship. Wow, Rex ship was loaded tonight, but not technically needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you bailed on criteria the first time you saw it, and Eppy did a little bit of exploration, picked up space jump, and found the Torian elevator.
And with that,
Oh, all right.
Eppy is going through the escape.
So Alex, looks like you're advancing to the next round. I'm reading this bracket right. Looks like you'll be facing Skyhawk in round 2. Any thoughts on that particular matchup?
Rematch, I guess. Second grudge match of the tournament. So see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Second round of brackets is going to be the grudge match round, it seems like.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
It's very, very true. Do you feel confident at all going against good old Sky?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to make some bad decisions sometimes, but I think we all do in one way or another. So, but no, it should be a good match.
Sometimes the risky play gets the worm, after all.
That is true.
Yup. And Eppy's going to be hitting that elevator in a second here. With an official race time of 53:02. GG's to Eppy. Alright, we'll see if we get Eppy in here as well. In all honesty, this was a really good game 3.
Yeah, it was nice that they decided to mix up the custom areas instead.
Yes.
Change it up a little bit.
Speaking of when Eppy gets in here, I definitely want to talk about the decision to go Chaos. Alright, Eppy's join us right here. GG, Eppy.
Ooh, that was a fun thing.
GG, yes it was.
Oh,
That was-
jeez.
Yeah. That was a really close race, too.
It was? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it was, but yeah.
Yeah. Like, you and Alex kept going back and forth on that lead, it felt like, for a bit. You had a spring ball before Alex did.
Oh, well. Spring ball, yes. When I found bombs, I was like, oh no, not this again.
Yeah.
I don't have morph ball. This is not. I've skipped it. Oh. Uh-oh.
Both of you actually did not have morph ball before getting those bombs.
Okay, so I'm not alone for once. It's a miracle.
But yes, MST says the lack of Spo sort of doomed you, Eppy.
The lack of Spo?
Yes, Alex actually had Spo done on the first run through Slatestone.
Slatestone's in Norfair.
It was on the return trip. It was on the return
sorry,
trip
other
to
one.
Crate.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My
Wait,
bad,
wait.
Turnova.
What?
Yes.
Did I play a different seed? Yeah, no, Spo. I didn't go to Spo for forever, so because, I was just figuring, like, Spo's a grade. Spo's a Brinstar. I'm thinking at this point, prioritize Ridley first. New area. It's a boss I have to kill.
Yep, you did get a lot of info going into Bubble Deep the first time, though, especially seeing that Spring Ball and Wave were needed there.
Yeah, I had Spring Ball, but not the Wave, so I was like, okay, I'll just leave a mark that I need Wave and probably Varied because this place is hot.
Yes, yes. The Alex actually did not have a Wave Beam for a long while, so we were seeing if it was going to be passed up or not.
I'm glad I kept looking after Ridley.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Ridley? Wasn't it? Oh yeah, I got it before I fought the boss and left. So yeah.
Yeah, I first
fought
entered
the
the
boss
room.
late.
I first entered the room with like 1 HP left, and had to come back.
Yeah. Well, this was the game 3 for this match. So unfortunately, Eppy, you will be going home. Well,
What do you mean, unfortunately? Oh no, I'm not going home. I'm going out of town for 3 weeks. Are you kidding me? I can sit back and relax at my dad's house and watch the tournament play out. I'm all fine for that.
Yay, vacation!
You get to relax
I
a
don't
bit.
know, I don't know if I call it. Probably 25% vacation, 75% watching dogs.
MST says, Eppy shames so hard, he is leaving Florida for good.
I'm leaving Florida for good, or at least until April 1st.
So what do you think about this seat, Eppy?
It was interesting. I honestly probably should not have pushed Crate as hard as I did at the very beginning without, anything. But yeah, the information was good.
Yes, and that connector really did help, I think, both of you.
Yeah, I found the connector from the other side. Like, oh, I need more ball. Okay.
Yeah, I went into Crate with half an E-Tank left, and I'm like, let me just see what it looks like. Oh, okay, that works.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
no, I think I had less than half an E-Tank. It's like, okay, I'm gonna walk in and die. Like, oh wait, no, oh okay, all right, sure, I'll go with that. Yeah, okay, one boss down.
True. Now, going into this race, you both chose to do chaos settings for game 3.
Yes.
Did you think that helped or hurt you?
I mean, chaos. I run Sunday races. Chaos is normal. if it's not chaos, then it's kind of boring and unfortunate and sad.
That's true. I think that it being Bubble Deep definitely made for a really interesting finale.
I was kind of hoping for Bubble Deep more than the other one. I felt like the other one didn't have as much variation, like especially like the Mother Brain room and whatnot. And Bubble Deep has a lot of rooms and a lot of variation and potentially a lot of pain and suffering.
Yeah, as we saw earlier today, that there could have been some space jump checks that without space jump, you two might have had to do some IB Jane.
I don't know about earlier. I was sleeping, so, yeah. No.
Fair. All right, well, any final words from you two?
Good luck, Alex, and don't let Gordor hit you with a wave beam on the way out.
I'll hit him with the spacer, don't worry.
Hit him with a truck. Take wave beam, hide it in the deepest, darkest corner of the world, and make it so it's never required, ever. You're perfect. You're good to go.
Yeah, it might just come into play, who knows?
Very
I hope
true.
so.
Flurry, any words?
No, that was a really good race from the two of you. Very much back and forth. One item being in a different spot or another could have totally changed how this race has gone. So very nicely done.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, definitely give our wonderful runners a follow, Alex Classics and Eppy37. Also, shoutouts to our amazing tracker, as always, Paragon, with the co-tracker Rogue, the kitty, on her lap. Gotta love that. Flurry,
part.
always good commentating with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yes, yes. Definitely give everyone a follow and stay tuned because our next matchups. When's our next match?
I think that's Tuesday. I think that's me and Hot Streak.
Yes, that's right. They got a doubleheader between you and Hot Streak. Should be fun. And then the only other race scheduled at this point is the third match between MST and Koopa. And that's next Sunday.
Yeah, that's next weekend.
Yes, yes. Kaz and Fiend still need to schedule games 2 and 3. So we'll be seeing when those happen. So definitely stay tuned to the schedule. Keep checking the Speed Gaming channels. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next mission.